Good evening, and welcome back. It's Dr. Renee at BlackDoctor.org. So you know we're doing the Ask Dr. Renee show here at BlackDoctor.org. And so in case you didn't see last week, August is actually Black Business Month. And I mean, I celebrate Black businesses every day of my life because I'm a Black business owner, but August is Black Business Month. And so I want to showcase some really amazing Black businesses. And so I'm bringing one to you today that is going to be a wealth of information. So I need you to share. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments. If you have questions, make sure you type them in the comments. I will try to keep an eye on those, and then I can try and get those answered for you. But if you know anybody who needs to make some money now, not tomorrow, but now, then you need to watch this, because each one of us as solopreneurs, you know, people with large companies, small businesses, whatever, we can all be businesses. And so we have somebody here who has a whole lot of titles, but we're going to talk about that soon. So you guys, please make sure you share the broadcast. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay, and I hope you enjoy it. But please share the broadcast. Black Business Month is the month of August, and it is August. So we are going to talk to our fabulous guest. I'm going to bring her on now. Please make sure you share the broadcast, everyone. I don't care where you're watching from, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Make sure you share the broadcast. Thank you.
Hello.
Good evening.
How are you?
I am good. So our guest tonight, you guys, is Ebony Lucas. And you see, she already typed it in her name. It is Lucas the Closer. That is her handle. And we're going to talk about why they call her that. So Ebony, the Ask Dr. Renee show is here at Black Doctor. And my Ask Dr. Renee show, the way I always start is from the beginning. So when you were young, what did you want to be?
Oh, when I was young, I wanted to be an actress. And then I wanted to be a teacher. So I actually majored in education in undergrad. And so I thought I wanted to teach. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I did not know about the education.
Yeah.
So fun fact, you guys, I met Ebony when I was 12, I think. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, like 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah, and we were actually going to be in a play together.
Yes.
So I've been knowing Ebony for a very long time, but Ebony went to that other school, but that's okay. We're still friends.
Go blue. Go sure you're in the right sorority.
Yes, we are both AKAs. Yes. But my mom went to Michigan, as I'm sure you know. So, you know, we are house divided here. Me and my sister, the Spartans, and my mom, the Wolverine. But so Ebony, once you got out of school and you got the education degree, because I know you went on further, what made you decide to go on further?
So honestly, when I was in undergrad, all I knew is that I wanted to help people. And I didn't want to be a doctor, but I just wanted to do something helping people. And I never could figure out what that was. So then I was like, well, maybe it's teaching. And I tried Teach for America, and I was like, maybe it's not teaching. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. And one of my friends was like, why don't you try nonprofit organizations? And I had never heard of a nonprofit organization. Mind you, this is like back in 97, nonprofit organizations weren't as big. And there were 4 schools in the country that had nonprofit management programs. So I went to one of those programs. It was at Case Western, and it was in the business school there. So I had to take the GMAT, which I was like, oh, right. I had to take the GMAT. I was never thinking I was going to have to do that. And one of the things that's interesting, because one of the things that I really, really was intrigued by was all of the organizations that were doing affordable housing at the time. But sort of like it planted the seed, but I still was like, oh, I don't know. You know, that never occurred to me as being something to help people. So I was still kind of looking for what I wanted to do. And one of the ministers at my church was from South Africa. I went to Hartford. And so I went to Reverend Nyati and I said, hey, you know, I think I want to go to South Africa, because it was right when they had just ended apartheid.
Okay.
This was in 99. And he was like, oh, my uncle is the bishop of the Anglican church, and they would love to have you. You can go and stay with them.
Okay. Real quick fun fact that I don't think you know, we're Anglican. Anglican is Episcopalian. My mom is a Anglican or Episcopal priest.
Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So I went to South Africa by myself. Of course, first I tried to reach out to a bunch of my friends, and they were like, girl, you doing what? So I went to South Africa by myself and I stayed with this family. And we traveled around to the different townships and we were telling people apartheid is over. You can get a license. You can have a driver's license. You can move if you want to move. You don't have to live in this township. You can, and we were just telling them like what their rights were. We were also doing like a lot of AIDS awareness. And so while we were doing all of that, people would be like literally coming up to me just crying. Like, I can have an ID, I can move, my family can do better. And I understood for the first time how important the law was. So I went back home. I worked for a nonprofit organization where I was a fundraiser. So I was raising funds for the organization. And we were helping, it was a literacy program in Detroit. And there were all these women, and they basically read, some of them read on like a first grade level, and they had children, and they were there trying to learn how to read. And again, I was like, these are people but they had all of these other issues that they ran into along the way, right, in life. And I was like, I think I want to go to law school. So applied to law school, went to University of Michigan Law School, came out, worked at a big firm, didn't like it because I was like, this is not what I was supposed to be doing. I thought I said I was going to help people, not working for these major corporations. No. That's not what I want to do. So I quit my $180,000 job to go work for a nonprofit organization that was teaching people about the Illinois Condominium Property Act. And that job paid $30,000. My parents were like, are you crazy? I was like, it's okay. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. But I got there and people were like, this is great. This is so helpful because it was right during the housing market downturn. And there were developers who had built buildings. A really close friend of mine actually lived in the penthouse of a 9-unit condo building. And the developer never finished the other 8 units. So she was in this building by herself. And I was meeting people like that. I met these other 2 ladies that lived in this 30-unit building where they were the only 2 that bought, and the rest of the buyers were like sham buyers. And NPR actually did a story about this building because like basically it had been like overrun by like drug addicts and all types of things because everybody else was a sham buyer other than these 2 people that I met. And I was able to turn these buildings around. And the nonprofit organization was like, wait. We think you're providing legal services. You were just supposed to be explaining it to them, but you're actually providing legal services and we're not in that business. So I said, okay, well, I should get in that business. So I left. It was a very good relationship. Started my own law firm, and then they would actually refer people to me, and I was helping these condo associations turn around. And then noticed that, this was like a growing problem because as the housing market downturn was worse and worse, people were just walking away. And I was like, wait a minute, you don't have to walk away. So I had this whole campaign on the radio. I met with a bunch of aldermen, and it was don't walk away. And we were telling people like, you can do a short sale, you can do a deed in lieu, but don't walk away because you're damaging the other people in the building. And then I was like, wait a minute, how much they say this condo is? $20,000. I can do that. I can buy a $20,000 condo. So I bought my first investment property. And and that's how I really got started, like real estate investing. And I started buying condos, but I kept doing what I was doing on the legal end. And I really love what I do now because I feel like I'm truly helping people every single day. And I love that. So yeah.
That's awesome. So you skipped over some things. One, I remember I saw you on Oprah and was like, oh my God, that's Ebony.
It is. That was a horrible time in my life. Oh my goodness.
But I want you to share that because
I will. So during that time, I was on the Oprah show, and actually I started the Oprah show with my ex-husband. We had started it together doing the debt diet. Because we were basically living way outside of our means and spending money like water, and our relationship just wasn't working. It wasn't a healthy relationship. And the show you saw me on, I actually went with my sister-in-law because that was like when I
Yes,
finally was
I
like,
remember.
that's it.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. And unfortunately, because at the time we had a business, everything was in my name. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. But everything, our house, both of our cars, the business, everything was in my name. And he refused to pay for anything because I wasn't willing to be in a relationship anymore. So I had to file for bankruptcy, which was, to me, it was very difficult. I mean, as an attorney, just as someone who's just like, I'm very prideful, and I pride myself on being able to pay my bills and do the right thing. But I, was just not an option. There was no other option at that point. I was a single mom. And so that was in 2007. I filed for bankruptcy, and it felt like the end of the world at that time. So I was really sad when I was on the Oprah show. So when she pointed me out of the audience, I think she saw that on my face, and she was like, you really have everything you need. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but okay, Oprah. Oprah
Right.
said it. So it must be true. So I did that. And then after that, I was just like, how do I make sure that I'm never in that position again? And I just really started saying this prayer. And I was like, because that was around the time I also decided to move to Chicago. So I moved to Chicago, and I was like, God, I don't know what direction you're taking me in, but I'm going to follow the direction you take me in. And I just don't want my son to ever have to feel it in his life. I never want him to feel a difference in the lifestyle if I'm not making as much money or whatever. And, I just feel like that was just my prayer, just daily. And I still say that now. Like, I still say it now. Because it's like, wherever, I feel led, that's the direction I go in. And, it's just been an amazing journey, because not only have I been able to build financially, build a business, employ other people, and make sure that other families are able to eat. And that's super important. But also just, running a business with integrity and teaching other people that they can do it, right? It doesn't matter if you're a single mom. It doesn't matter if you file for bankruptcy. There are things that you can do to get there.
Yeah, that's what I wanted people to understand. I wanted you to realize that homeownership doesn't have to be a dream. It can be a reality. And
Yeah.
so and then also being a landlord can be a reality. Or not even being a landlord, just own the property and have somebody else running things and you just collecting your checks,
Yeah.
You just, never know. But
And like a lot of businesses, like when I started my business, I didn't have a plan. I wasn't like, I guess some people are like, oh, that's what I always plan to do. Like, I can't even say that. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't say I'm focused on getting XYZ number of properties. I didn't have a plan. I just was like, oh, the condo is $20,000. I'm going to buy it. So I bought that one. And then I learned, oh, I can refinance this condo, because even though I paid $20,000 for it, it's worth, at that time, properties were way undervalued. So it was worth $65,000. So I said, okay, I can get a loan for $65,000, and I can take that money from that and I can buy some more. So while I only had the $20,000, I was able to continue to grow in that way. And then when the market really changed and the prices went up, I was able to kind of pay down some of that debt and make sure that I wasn't just leveraged on all my properties. So, it really was about the whole business. My whole business growth and strategy has really been around leveraging. So.
And then also, and I'm sure and we'll talk about the wealth and wellness experience soon, but I'm sure you can also purchase properties with your 401k, with your life insurance. I mean, there's all these different ways that you can do that. And so the reason they call her Lucas the Closer is because she consistently is closing for people. So, and they come to the table. Like, I've literally been watching her testimonials from her different clients, and they've come to the table and didn't have to bring any money, or they collected money at the table. So, so there's all these ways. So please tell everyone about what is the wealth and wellness experience and what can people expect?
So the wealth, hold on one second. I'm sorry. I got some Airbnb tenants that are having trouble getting
Yes,
in.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am. Yes,
speaking
ma'am.
of which,
Yes. So you
all right,
gotta
let
you
me
gotta
just
handle
let
that.
her know.
If you were the person at Airbnb and was standing outside, couldn't get in, I had
Right.
to handle that right away too.
Right. I'm
So
so sorry, lady.
it's
You
okay.
couldn't get in. I saw my phone like ring like 6
Right.
times in a row, and I'm like, uh-oh. So I may just need to, I'm just gonna pay attention a little bit. I'm paying
Yeah.
attention to you, but I
Yeah,
gotta
I
like, make sure
understand.
my
Yeah.
people get in.
Yeah.
So I have these 4 Airbnbs in New Orleans, and that's just been really fun. Let me hold on one second. I gotta let her in.
There was something else that she said too. Oh, I know. When my job was eliminated, I got on a call with Les Brown less than a week later, and he said, I know that you're going to be fine. I already see great things for you. And I was like her with Oprah. I was like, excuse me? Sir, what? I sat there and was like, this man is crazy. And he does not know what he's talking about. I don't know what I'm going to do. And
Right.
he was like, no, you're going to be great. And I was just like, oh, okay, if you say so. And of course, that was back in 2013. And I have not gotten a job since. So therefore,
There you
apparently he
go.
knew what he was talking about. He knew. But I understand that. Okay, cool. So how did you come up with the wealth and wellness experience, and what is it, and how can we get people to go?
So the wealth and wellness experience is really about building wealth and living to enjoy it. Because one of the things that I learned along the way was that I was like, making money, working really hard, doing all of these things, but then I wasn't actually enjoying it because I was working so hard, right? I was like, and then when I wasn't working, I wanted to make sure I did stuff with my kids, make sure I did stuff with my friends, make sure I did, I was always running. And really the pandemic, much like everyone, it slowed me down, right? And I was like, wow, like I haven't had this type of like extra time on my hands. What do I do with it? And it was like, oh, you know what? I can exercise. I can like, there were all these other things that I really hadn't been doing to take care of me. I can sleep, right? Like you talked about how sleeping makes you skinny. Like I'm one of those people that didn't sleep, right? And I still struggle with that. I struggle. I wake up about 3 a.m. And I can go from
But
like
you go
3
to bed
a.m.
early though.
I do. I go to bed at like 9 o'clock, but still, it's still not enough. Like I need to sleep more hours. Like I go to bed about 9:30. Now by 9:30, I'm passing out. But I wake up about 3, and then sometimes I'll just force myself to sleep longer or whatever, or at least try to force myself. Today I slept till 7, which I never do. I was like, oh Lord, am I sick? What's going on? So I sorry, this is her again. This is the joy of Airbnb. Um people are always like, oh, I want to do Airbnb. That's easy. I'm like, no. Let me tell you, Airbnb is a lot of work. It's fun. You meet a lot of people. But it is a lot of work. And especially like we have these automatic doors, and sometimes the first time people try to use it, they struggle a little bit.
Right.
So, so sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really was like, once I started really taking care of myself and realizing that was just something that I had been missing out on. I was like, I gotta share this with other people. So, I came up with the wealth and wellness experience, and I was like, I need some other powerful speakers. Who can I get? And I just really started looking at people's social media, like looking at different, posts that people made or whatever. And it's amazing because the speakers that we met, it's like we're friends, and like a lot of them we just met like this year, like within but the synergy, I think, between all of us. And, part of it is just an attitude, right? Like what
Right.
Oprah told you, Oprah told me what Les Brown told you, that's an attitude. It's just really that attitude. Like, hey, you're going to be okay, right? That's number one. You're going to be okay. Number two, you got to try.
Yep.
You got to do it scared. right? And then number 3, you got to block out the noise, because a whole lot of people are going to be telling you a lot of things. And you just have to constantly speak that positivity into yourself. And it seems very simple. And people are like, oh, that doesn't work. And I'm like, but it does.
But it does.
Right. It does. Absolutely.
It does. Yeah.
So the wealth and wellness experience is really about a mindset. It's about having that wealthy mindset. That's number 1. You know, there's people I talk to and they're like, oh, I can never do that and blah, 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 blah. And I have trouble even getting further in the conversation with them, because I'm like, if you don't think you can ever do it, then you will never try. And if you never try, like, then I can't sit and talk to you, because it's not going to go anywhere. I can't convince you. You have to have the mindset. So and anybody and everybody can have the mindset. And you don't have to have, you know, it just so happens, oh, people look at me and say, oh, well, you had that $20,000. Yeah. But you know what? I have a client who they literally put their last $7,000 into a 2-unit building. And the building was in horrible condition. And I told them, I was like, are you sure you want to buy this? And they're like, listen, we saved this $7,000 and we're going to buy this 2-unit building. We're going to paint it ourselves. We're going to do what we have to do, but we want to own it. And when we get a chance and when we get the opportunity, we're going to rent out the other side. And the other side is going to pay our mortgage. Because right now, this mortgage is less than our rent. And when they knew that and understood that, and like right now, rents are sky high. So if you are paying $2,000 a month, if you're paying $1,600 a month, if you're paying $1,200 a month, you can own. But you have to have the mindset of, hey, I can own. So the wealth and wellness experience is number 1 about the mindset, having the mindset. And then once you have the mindset and build the wealth, then what? So we have a session actually called You Made $1 Million, Now What? And that session is about, okay, you made the money, but what are you doing with it? How is it improving your life? How is it enhancing your life? Are you making sure, because Black people are at the bottom of estate planning. Right. So we don't pass things down in the proper way. And our things are, you know, estates get really messy when we pass away. So
we don't even have the money to pay for the funeral. Forget the estate.
Exactly. So whether it's $2,000 in the bank, if you don't have an estate plan, your family's not going to be able to access that $2,000. So you got to have a plan. You have to have a beneficiary. You have to do things like that. And so, you know, really encouraging people to do those types of things. So we'll be talking about real estate investment. We'll be talking about stock investment. We'll be talking about social media branding, ways that you can make the additional money. That's number 1. And number 2, we're going to talk about, once you get the money, how are you going to take care of the money? And then number 3, which is no less important than 1 and 2, we're going to talk about, how do you take care of you? How do you live to enjoy it, right? Because if you work, and then you have a heart attack at 45, that wasn't worth it.
But I know you've heard these stories, and I know you know my friend Zandra Simmons from Mercy. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. And so Zandra told me a story. A lot of people at her job, they would retire and die within the next week or 2.
Yep.
Like it was a trending thing. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But I've heard this across the board, a lot of different corporations and businesses. People work until they literally die the next week.
Yep.
So you guys, you don't want to do that.
This year alone, it is heartbreaking. I mean, you were at one of the funerals I was at. Like, I get choked up just talking about it. I have been to, I think it was maybe March that I posted, like, I don't want to go to any more funerals.
Oh, I remember that.
That's less than 65 years old. Like, I was tired. Like, and that was March, right?
Right.
A really good friend of mine, her husband suddenly died. They only been married a year. Suddenly died. He had a pulmonary embolism. You know, my cousin died from a massive heart attack. I mean, these are people who are, 42, 43, 44, getting up. My friend whose husband died, he was getting dressed for work. Right. And so we have to take care of ourselves. And I feel like, all of the narrative we see right now is generational wealth, generational wealth, generational wealth. But there's nothing out there about generational health. And unfortunately, in the Black community, we have passed down a lot of what slavery gave us in terms of a diet. Right? That's how we eat, unfortunately, right? And so we don't, and it doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve us, right? And so we have obesity.
And we have to always stress, and here at Black Doctor, I've said it a million times, the difference between us and the slaves is that the slaves was out there working with their hands in the sun. So even if they ate horribly, they were getting the exercise without exercising. Their manual labor was the exercise.
Yep.
So not that I'm saying they should have and could eat that way. No, but I bet you they were drinking a whole lot more water than a lot of these people walking around here who sit at a desk all day because they were out in the sun.
Yep.
So that's the difference. So we can't eat like them if we're not going to be pulling cotton in the fields.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, but we haven't changed that. And, you know, you see the, you know, and we start really young, like in the,
the diabetes,
our children.
Type 2 diabetes now is found in children, where that used to be adult onset type diabetes is what type 2 used to be called. But now tons of kids are overweight because they're stuck on these screens and they don't go outside and play, and they don't get any, gym class has been taken out of the public school system and all these different things. And so that's why, you know, all these adult diseases are now found in children. There's children that are on hypertension medication.
I was going to say they have high blood pressure. Yes. So, you know, it just is. And so I'm very passionate about the wealth and wellness experience, because I told one of my friends was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, because when I'm 80, because I'm going to be 80, I'm going to be taking trips.
I'm going to be 100. What you talking about?
Listen, that too.
What you talking about?
By the time I'm 100, I might be resting. But 80, I'm taking trips. I'm going to be like my grandfather. My grandfather, he just slowed down last year. He's 96 now, but
I love it.
He slowed down last year. He's not driving anymore. He don't really want to take no trips, and that's fine. But all the way up until his 90th birthday was in the Bahamas. Like,
I love it.
That's how, but he was in the Bahamas with us. My grandmother passed away. Most of his friends have passed away. Most of his cousins and family that were there. I don't want to be that. Right. I want to take you with me. When I say it's my 80th birthday, Renee, I want you coming. I want you there. Right. I want to be able to take my friends and my family with me as long as I can. And I want to build a community around it. So if you don't have friends and family that can come with you, the wealth and wellness experience is about building that community with the wealthy mindset and the well mindset, so that you have people that you can hang out with, you can have a good time with, you can be healthy. You can, you know, you can just have everything, because we can. We're deserving of everything, and we can have everything. So
right. There's a lady from Detroit, and I forgot. I think her name is Ernestine, but I forgot how old she is, but I know she's over 80, I'm pretty sure. And this woman, I'm sure you all have seen the meme of this lady working out, because I think she has a world record or something too.
Oh my God, I've seen her, and her body is amazing.
Exactly. And
every time I see it, I'd be like, ooh.
She was on the Riverwalk, and she was on the news a couple weeks ago in Detroit. And I was like, see, that's going to be me. That's going to be me. That lady is out there killing it. Her workout outfit was so cute. I do not try to be cute when I work out, but at that age, I guess I'll try. But when I tell you, she was killing it. And I was like,
her body is killing it. So
I like, I just do it because I need to, you know, I like to just keep up with, just keep up with what you got.
Yep. I bought a tonal. And I decided that my body is going to look like Serena Williams by my birthday. My birthday is December 4th. And I'm supposed to be looking like Serena by December. So I'm working on it.
Okay. Look, I have no doubt you'll get there. So how long have you been plant-based?
So I have been plant-based for 7 years now. 7 years.
And you are the only person in your household, right?
The only one in my household. The only one.
So
you know what? They enjoy it. And I don't, you know, I don't push what I eat on them necessarily. You know, it depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm like, look, this is what I cooked. If y'all want something else,
you
have to do it yourself. But, you know, I'll make chicken and fish for them. We don't eat any beef or pork in my household at all.
Okay.
Although that doesn't mean that my kids don't eat it when they're not at home.
Right.
Not just my kids, my husband too. They do it when they're not here. But my younger son, he pretty much only likes fish. He doesn't like vegetables either. He likes fish and beans. I'm like, I don't know where this diet comes from, but that's it. Fish, beans, and avocado. That's like,
you need to, you know that there's cookbooks, and I've seen you can like hide the vegetables and stuff, so then they
Yes.
make sure they get them.
I made a video a couple of weeks ago because he loves acai bowls. That's his thing he's into right now.
Okay.
So I put like a big chunk of kale in his acai bowl. And then I was like, I made it for him. I have his video and I'm like, yeah, so how is it? He's like, oh my God, it's amazing. I'm like, what's your favorite part of it? He's like, the acai is so good. It doesn't even taste like what I get at the store. What did you do different? Nothing.
Right, exactly. My mother switched us from ground beef to ground turkey and never told us.
Yeah.
And we didn't know.
Just ate
She
it. Yeah.
couldn't do that with the bacon. You can't, pork bacon and turkey bacon are two totally different things.
They are two
But, but she did that ground beef, ground turkey switch, and we were like, huh, what?
You know what? I made some vegan lasagna one time, and I've made it more than once, but the first time I made it, and I made the cheese out of cashews. So my kids were eating. They were like, "Oh my God, this is so good! We love the vegan lasagna." So then the next time I made lasagna, so my contractors, everybody, I'm known for this lasagna that I make. So the next time I make it, I make the regular lasagna that I normally make that everybody loves, and they were like, why didn't you make the vegan one? I was like, oh, okay. You guys like this.
That is hilarious.
So, yeah. So I enjoy, I like cooking. So
I can tell. And I've seen, like I said, some of yours, I was like, oh, I tried this, I tried that.
Yeah. I love cooking. It relaxes me. That's like when I come home and I've just had like that type of day. I'm like, everybody leave the kitchen. Let me handle my business in here.
But yeah, so everyone, the Wealth and Wellness Experience is October 7th through the 10th in Tulum, Mexico. So my friends in the Midwest, this will be a nice time just when it's about to start to get cold to go and enjoy a little sun. The Wealth and Wellness Experience, the website is below, wealthandwellnessexp.com. Tickets are actually looking very nice right now because if you haven't heard, tickets are actually going down in price now. So please, yes, so plane tickets are going down. So please come join us because I will be speaking as well. So please come join us. It's going to be a fabulous experience. This will be an annual thing, I've heard it also. But I think you should really come because the first time is, nothing as great as the first time. And we have, like she said, some amazing speakers. But one of my favorite people, Chrisette Michelle, is performing. And if anyone knows me, then they know that me and Chrisette, we've been rocking for a long time. So as a matter of fact, I saw her Saturday in Detroit. But
she told me she was in Detroit. Yeah. When she was here in Chicago, she told Dina, who's going to be our MC at the event, she was like, hey, can you take me to lunch at somewhere vegan? So Dina calls me and she's like, Chrisette wants to go somewhere vegan for lunch. Can you find a place for us? So I'm like, sure. So we went to the Handlebar in Chicago. And Dina was like, oh, this food is so good. But I have pictures of her at the beginning of dinner, lunch. She's like,
not amused.
But when her food came and she's like, this is so good. She was like, I could eat this. I'm like, I know. Vegan food is just regular food without the meat.
Right. You have to figure out what. Now, because of my allergies, there's so many of the different things that I can't have. Like I can't do tofu and I can't have, there's something else I forgot. But and then like you said, cashew. I can't have nuts at all. So no nut products and stuff. So there's a lot of little things, but I am able to find, like I'm a beans person. So I'll eat some beans and I'll eat some veggies cooked because I don't eat raw vegetables. And
you don't eat any raw vegetables?
Those here at Black Doctor know that I have lost all this weight and never ate a salad. I do eat cucumbers. So like if I go to Subway, I get a chicken and cucumber sandwich.
Okay.
And if I go to Coastie, I get the same thing. Like I like cucumbers.
And that's the one thing I do not like. I hate cucumbers and melon. Any type of melon, no watermelon.
Okay, so I do watermelon too. My mother is allergic to all melons, but amazingly, with all my allergies, I actually can have watermelon, and I eat watermelon. I like good sweet watermelon. But so yeah, I don't do raw vegetables. So as a matter of fact, Sweet Greens has just opened in the area, and my sister is very excited. And so she had me looking at the app last night. Where are we gonna eat on Friday? We should go to Sweet Greens. So I'm trying to figure out what am I gonna eat at Sweet Greens. They do have brown rice and they have quinoa and they have.
So you like, I will figure it out.
Well, look. That's why it's gonna be good. We're gonna go in the restaurant because I'm gonna need them to probably just steam my vegetables a little
Just
bit.
a little bit.
I just
You know
don't
what?
like
It's
raw
funny
vegetables.
because since I've been plant-based, my palate has completely changed. So I don't think I was too crazy about raw vegetables. I mean, I did like salad before. That's a little weird that you don't like salad. But
Well, no, to my defense, the salad thing is because I was allergic to raw vegetables as a child. And so when you don't grow up eating them, so then when I was around elementary school, I think they said I could eat them. So they tried to give me lettuce and I just was like, and I gagged. And it was just like,
yeah, that was a bad
so then
experience.
I put syrup on it. Don't laugh. And because I was like, it needs something. So I put some syrup on it and was like, and they were sitting at the table. My family's like, what is she doing? And I was like, it needs something. It needs something. And because of my allergies too, I was allergic, now that was before vinaigrettes. I was allergic to a lot of salad dressings because I was allergic to eggs. And so my mother actually did have a salad dressing from the health food store, but I just was not feeling that. So I tried the syrup. That didn't work. But the funny thing is, I thought it was so cool when I went to school and my friends ate raw carrots, the sound. I just thought that was so neat. So I tried it because I was like, I got to do that. I literally gagged and I was like, this raw vegetable thing is just not working
You
out.
like, it's not me.
And so
Yes,
I eat
actually
vegetables. I just need my stuff to be steamed,
steamed
roasted,
just a little bit.
something, just a little something.
I had recently, well, I guess maybe a couple years ago, like raw asparagus, and I actually like it better now raw than I like it cooked.
Wow. No, I
And
can't
broccoli
imagine.
the same way. So yeah, but I feel like I said, since I've become plant-based, my palate has just completely changed. The things I like and dislike, and it was the hardest thing for me to give up was cheese. And I had something with like cheese in it. And I was like, ugh, like I don't even see how I ever even ate cheese.
And you know what? People laugh because I often eat pizza without cheese.
Yep.
Like, what?
It's
Like,
so good.
Like cheese is not my thing. I'm not in love with cheese. I'm
Yeah.
not lactose intolerant because if you sat me down a couple years ago, I could get 2 gallons of skim milk in a week and knock them out myself. But I just don't like cheese. Like I don't have to have cheese. And that's why lasagna, my sister, she tricked me and I had some lasagna, but there was nothing I felt like I need to repeat. Like you won't see me. I don't like cheese on anything. I don't want it on my tacos. I don't want cheese. If cheese comes on the black beans, then you need to send them back and bring me back the black beans plain.
No cheese.
Not like cheese. I was like, oh, there's cheese. No. And I don't care what kind it is. I'm not interested in cheese like that. That's just my thing. But I can understand your palate changing. I mean, I just, like I said, I think that it is kudos to people who can figure out how to make food healthy and make it taste good. Period. That's plant-based, meat-based, whatever. If you can make healthy food taste good, you're good. My sister happens to be a chef, and all the healthy food that she cooks tastes fabulous. And it has flavor, but it has low salt. I mean, but it's like I said, it's healthy for you. My blood pressure, I was getting my life insurance last year, and the lady came. It was 90 over some 60 or something. She's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. But I never seen it that low myself. It's never been high. My regular was like 110 over 70. But for it to be 90, I was like, I go, wow, this working out thing is doing something to my body.
The working out in the water, because the water flushes all the toxins out of your body.
So I was like, wow. But I also wanted to mention too, you guys, we want to stay here as long as possible because we got people to live for and things to live for. And they always say black don't crack, but you would never guess our ages because the way that we eat and the way that we exercise, I swear it takes years off. As the pounds disappear from me, I feel like I'm getting younger by the second. I will never forget the day a 16-year-old hit on me, but I will take that to the grave. Okay. My sister was on the phone with me in my ears and she was like, that little boy just hollered at you. I said, he sure did. And I said, if I was his age, he was really polite with it too. So if I was a young girl, he was cool. It was the basketball that gave him away that he was holding and we was walking. I was walking to Mariano's and he was walking to wherever. And I think he was leaving school, walking home. I was just like, oh, no, I'm so sorry.
I'm a
And then there was
little
the
old.
24-year-old who was like, I mean, I'm 24. And I go, I don't know how old you think I am. But yeah, no. Like, no. I was like, this is cute, but no. And my godson was the same age at the time, and he was like, we could have been friends. I go, you cute, but no, Nene is not getting with no 24-year-old. No. But yeah, so I'm telling you, there's a lot of benefits to it. So you guys, please check out the Wealth and Wellness Experience. I've seen videos. If you go look at her social media and look at the Wealth and Wellness Experience social media, you can see the resort looks amazing.
Oh my gosh. It is awesome. 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 Now, let me tell you one of the things we're going to do while we're there that I had never done before. So, whenever we go, like my husband doesn't mind, like when we go to air bath spa, he likes to do like the cold plunge and all. And I'm like, no, thank you. So, we get up one day and they're supposed to have a yoga class at the resort. So, I said, okay, let's go to the yoga class. We thought it was yoga, but it was capoeira. That's number one. So we were in the hot sun with a whole capoeira workout, and I've never done capoeira before. So I'm doing it. I have the funniest videos of me doing this too. I haven't posted those because I'm like, so embarrassing. I don't know what I look like I was doing. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. And then they said, okay, well, afterwards, we're going to do an ice plunge. So I was like, well, I'm not doing the ice plunge. I'm thinking they're going to just have you just jump in the water, in the ice. So they were like, okay, well, we have a yoga to prepare for the ice plunge. And I was like, okay, I'll do the yoga. I'm not going to do the ice plunge, but I'll do the yoga. So we do the yoga, and basically it was really all about breathing. And he talked about stress and how your body holds on to stress and how you learn to train your body to deal with stress. And it had to do with breathing, but it also had to do with, he said, at least twice a week, you should be taking at least a 5-minute cold shower, because your body then learns how to deal with stress so you don't hold it in. And so they taught us this whole thing. They taught us this breathing. And then they said, okay, we're going to do the ice plunge. And so by now I'm like, okay, well, I got to try this ice plunge because I got to figure this out. Now you're telling me it's a stress reliever. So you get in the ice plunge, and they said, okay, when you first get in there, it's really, really cold. You're going to naturally hyperventilate. So of course you get in there and you're like, because you're literally in like a bucket that's like, it was probably about 4 feet of ice. And so you step in and there's no way you can sit down in this thing, right? But they have like a little kind of like bench thing in there that you can eventually sit down. And so you breathe. And then so you get in and you're like, and then they're like, no, breathe, close your eyes and just breathe. And so you close your eyes and you breathe. And then they say, okay, sit a little bit further. Because at first, when you get in there, you're like, also your hands are like this. You're like, all of me can't be cold.
Right.
But then eventually you relax and your arms go down. And now your arms are in the ice. And then they say, okay, sit down. And you sit down and your whole body is sitting in the ice. And we had to do this for 5 minutes. And it was really, really difficult to do. But I did see how when you're in a stressful situation, that breathing and that learning how to breathe can actually relax your body and take you where, when you're in environments, whether it's work or whatever, just taking that moment to say, okay, let me take a breath. Let me breathe. Let me think through this. And so that cold shower that you do twice a week for 5 minutes. So I started doing that actually. And I hate cold water. I take hot shower.
Me too. And I'm worried I done burn myself.
Right, exactly. Those are the kind I like, right? Yeah. So, but twice a week I do get into the cold water because and I noticed at first it was very difficult. Now it's not as difficult. It's teaching your body how to deal with stressful, because that stress that you hold in will kill you.
So listen, the funny thing is, and our mutual friend, may she rest in peace, Christia, in her book, it talked about how you need to rinse your hair in cold water to close the cuticles. Mm-hmm. So at the end of my showers, I would do the cold. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that after I read her book.
Yeah.
And of course, it wasn't no 5 minutes. It was like, hurry up and rinse his hair out, rinse it, and go.
You're like, let me do it super fast. Yeah.
Yes. But so I don't know. We'll see. I don't know about that cold. That is, and when we ran the Disney half, they tell you after running that you should do that because then your muscles will be, but girl, could nobody convince me. And when I tell you I was in pain for days after that
Yeah.
darn race, and like an idiot, I went to Epcot and I was like, how am I supposed to walk the park? Like my brain sending the signal to my legs. I could only imagine what I looked like because I knew my legs weren't moving right. It was awful. I was like, maybe if I got in that ice, I might have been able to walk because
Yeah.
I was struggling. But that's what they say for runners. They always say, because they said it'll your muscles won't tighten up
Right.
if you take an ice bath after.
And
So
it's the same thing like with stress. Like you
yeah,
naturally tighten up and you just have to teach your body to deal with that. If you teach your body a stress response, then it's just a lot easier to deal with stress, which means it doesn't impact you. So it doesn't make you sick. It doesn't make you sleepy or give you headaches or all
right,
the other things that
right,
you'll be talking about. Those are the
exactly.
things you'll be talking about.
Right. So, but yes, please, everyone, please visit wealthandwellnessexp.com. Check it out. Go by yourself. Grab a bunch of girls. I've had several friends that I've sent it to, and they're like, "Oh, we need to make this a girl trip." So, I think it's going to be an amazing time. Men and women are involved. So
Yes.
you don't have to think this is just a thing for the ladies. No,
Right.
men
No.
and women. She has both men and women speakers. So please come have a great time. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. And thank you so much for your time today. Everyone, please. Now, can you help people across the country or you can only help people in Illinois?
So with practicing law, I'm
Yeah.
only licensed in Illinois.
Okay.
I only help people with that here, but I
Okay.
can help people invest anywhere. You can follow me at Lucas the Closer on Instagram or Facebook. And I post tips and information, good and bad, about my journey, my real estate investment journey. And some days are great, some days aren't. So you get
So
to
now
learn.
that, because, I want you to share this. Now that I know that you have a goal, what is your monthly goal?
Oh, yeah. Oh, did you hear me say that?
I I read it. I
Oh,
read
you
it in
read
Black
it.
Girls in Real Estate.
Oh, yeah. So to retire, my monthly goal is $100,000 a month. So that's what I want to make. And once I get there, then I'll be able to retire. It looks like maybe about 3 or 4 more years. So I'm looking at 50 being done.
Awesome sauce.
So, and it really is all about investments. Like, it's, people work and you work every day and pretty much like on even me, like what I do, if I just did the legal thing, I would never probably make enough money to retire early. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if you work and you actively invest, right? So we have these passive investments, we do 401ks, those type of things, but you have to do more than that. And it doesn't take a lot of money. Larry Jones will tell you during the pandemic, him and his wife got laid off and they used their $2,400 stimulus money and turned it into $52,000 and then turned it into $200,000. And he made like a couple $1,000,000 in the stock market during the pandemic. And he has great videos on YouTube. I've learned from his videos, and that's $2,400. So it doesn't take a lot of money. It just takes believing in yourself.
So, everyone, thank you so much for your time this evening, and I will see you again next week. Please support a Black business all the time, not just this month, all the time. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.